Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. So we'll start the session in another 5 minutes. We are waiting for some more participants to join. Kindly.
So, good morning, everyone. Shall I start?
Sir, just a minute.
Sir, just a minute, sir. Just a minute.
Okay.
Deepa madam.
Sir, ma'am, I'm here only. Good morning, everyone. Sachin Chaudhary, sir, is. I just want to introduce you to Sachin Chaudhary, sir. Sachin Chaudhary, sir, is born and brought up in Dehradun, India. He received his BTech degree in Computer Science and Engineering from Uttarakhand Technical University, Dehradun. He received his master's degree in Software Engineering from Staffordshire University, UK, and completed his PhD degree from Indian Institute of Technology, Ropar. He is currently working as an assistant professor with the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, PEC University of Technology, Chandigarh, India. His primary fields of interest are human action recognition, computer vision, object detection, software engineering, and artificial intelligence. Sir, we are privileged and honored to have you, sir. Thank you for gracing this occasion. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, and thanks a lot for kind words. Yeah, so shall I start now?
Yes, sir, you can start,
Okay,
sir.
okay, fine. So, good morning, everyone. Today we'll be discussing about the software and hardware requirement for AR and VR. You might have already have some session on artificial intelligence and augmented reality and virtual reality. So, if any one of you can tell me the difference between augmented reality and virtual reality, so that will be a good start for our session. Uh, any one of you? What's the difference between augmented reality and virtual reality or mixed reality? Did you got the difference? Hello? No one. I hope you all are not.
Yes. I can
Yeah.
I can
Sure.
respond. So actually, there is a big spectrum between the real world and digital world, and what it was taught in last class. So augmented reality is very close to the real world, and the virtual reality is very close to the digital world, and in between this wide spectrum, what comes is the mixed reality.
Yeah. So, in some sense, it is correct. I would like to add on something to this. Uh, there is more crispier difference that we can think of. Virtual reality is something like where you are creating a totally virtual world, totally digital world. Okay, just like when you are playing games. So it's a totally virtual world. Characters are fake, scene is fake, environment is fake, everything is fake. Okay. On the other hand, when you might have played or you might have seen a game called Pokemon Go, where you used to search Pokemon in the real world. Okay, the scene is real, environment is real, but the object for which you are searching or the object that you are seeing through a camera, it is a augmented object. That means you are augmenting a virtual object in real world. Okay, so that is called as augmented reality when you are trying to augment trying to place a virtual object in a real world. If you play a normal game, it is totally virtual. Nothing. It is not like a real and virtual world are mixing up. In case of mixed reality, we can interact with those objects. Okay, like there is you might have seen some apps these days available on mobile phone. When you switch on the camera, like Snapchat is there, you will find so many characters in your home, in your room only. Like you will see a horse, you will see a lion, or a cat sitting on the top of your head, something, some different, like for a funny way they are there, but they are actually implementation of augmented reality. When your picture is real, but a cat sitting on the top of your head is an augmented virtual object. Okay, so this is augmented reality, and same in the case of mixed reality. It is like the ball is there in your room, which is actually not there, but now you can play with that ball. So that is a mixed reality when the objects in the virtual world and the real world are interacting in a real-time scenario. Okay, the room is real, the environment is real, the scene that you are viewing through your camera is real, but there is an object which is actually not there. It is a virtual object, and now if you will kick that object will behave according to the laws of physics. The way you will kick, it will go that way. Okay, so that is called as mixed reality, and there are some other kind of explanation also available for the differentiation. But this is the in a very simplest way you can understand between virtual, augmented, and mixed reality. Okay, so for achieving this kind of reality, achieving this kind of things, you require some different kind of hardware and softwares. Okay, of course these days we are trying to do everything through a mobile phone, and because there are so many sensors, and even camera sensors are also very efficient in case of mobile. uh, so we are trying to do everything through the mobile phone, but still for some of the things we require specialized hardware for which are must for the implementation, for the visualization, for the development of the augmented and virtual reality. There are some special kind of libraries, tools, or frameworks which are available, or the hardwares which are available, which you should have to experience the real experience of virtual or augmented reality. Okay, so today we will be discussing about the software and hardware which are available for augmented and virtual reality. As of now, there are very few standard framework uh, available, and very less work is being done academically in case of virtual and augmented reality, although very big companies are investing hugely in augmented and virtual reality. You might have already heard about the new iPhone 12 being launched, and there is a new kind of sensor they have put in that phone, that is a LiDAR camera. Have you heard about the LiDAR sensor? What is that? Yes, anyone? LiDAR sensor, you know? Okay. So LiDAR is basically a laser-based sensor where you use to estimate the depth of the scene. Okay, and depth is basically what, like you can segregate the foreground and background. What is in the background, what is in the foreground. We as human being can assess the depth, but normal camera sensor cannot. For normal camera sensor, every image is in two dimensions. Okay, x and y direction. It cannot estimate the z direction, but we can assess. We can tell this object is this much far, other object is little bit more far away from this, and this happens because we have two eyes. We have stereoscopic vision, and uh, yes, of course, using driverless car, it will for autonomous driving, and there are various other implementations also. So why we used to have two cameras in our mobile phone? To create a impression, or to create a vision like the human beings have, the stereoscopic vision. So that is a different way of estimating depth, but the accuracy of that depth is not that much. Okay, so for augmented reality, for virtual reality, we need effective depth estimation, so that you will get a real-time experience. That is why Apple has kept a special sensor called as LiDAR sensor in the phone itself. Earlier, it used to be available separately, and it was extensively used in research. We also uh, worked in our lab. Some work was going on depth estimation, and we also use that LiDAR sensor for some of our work. But now that sensor is available in the mobile phone. So why I'm telling you this? This I am telling you because virtual reality and augmented reality are going to be a very real and easily available things to all of us, because now Apple has kept that in their phone. Very soon, you will see other companies following them and putting the LiDAR camera or some other software-based solution for estimating depth in their phone. And for what all these things they are doing? What Apple has claimed, what they will achieve by putting such a costly sensor in their phone, they are saying we have kept it for the AR experience, very good AR experience in our phone. Okay, so they want to provide a very good augmented reality experience. That shows that if Apple is working in that direction and they are now putting it into market also, so that clearly shows that it is a huge field to work upon at this moment, and it's a kind of field in which a lot of work will be done in the near future. And there are various implementation. I think you might have heard about the applications about of augmented reality, virtual reality. There are applications from military to driver training to even uh, experimentation, scientific experimentation, which are hazardous experiments. Means you need not to involve a human being in that. Okay, you can create a virtual or augmented environment in which you can test the things which are actually hazardous for them. So various implementations are there. It's a very huge domain right now to work upon, and it's a very upcoming technology, upcoming challenge for the academicians to work upon, because at this moment, mostly industry or the bigger companies are working on this, and there are various open problems available which we will be discussing, and the kind of work that you can do in terms of research. I have another sessions, I think, in this FDP on Thursday. One more session I have, and we will be discussing about some of the case studies or some of the work that can be done in this area. Okay, so this was all about motivation of about AR and VR, why we are studying this, why it is good, and I think you might have had enough discussion on that earlier also. So now, what we need, if you want to work on this, what are requirement, or what are the kind of hardware and software which is available on which you can work upon. So I have prepared a comprehensive list which are available. I have searched and just listed out everything and kept made a PPT out of that. I will just show you, and I will discuss with you, and later on I have kept link of all the frameworks, all the hardware that I'll show you. You can just explore them and you can find it out. I'll not say this one is good, this one is bad. Just I will tell you which one is bad in what, which one is good for in what situation, which one is bad in what situation. Just a small comparison I will do. Rest of the things are up to you. I'll provide you the PPT and you just go through them and find it out. Okay. So this will be the content for today's discussion. Introduction I have given. Then I will discuss about the different tools for VR. Then we'll do a small comparison of different tools that we will, when we will be discussing about the tools, we will keep doing a comparison among them. Then creation versus generation of VR. So this generation of VR, I'll discuss very shortly how to do, but other things we are going to discuss. So these are some tools for VR and AR. Okay. This is a comprehensive list. We'll see them one by one. Apple ARKit, Vuforia, Wikitude, Kudan, NextST, Google AR Code, Easy AR, AR Toolkit. And this is all, this list we are going to see in details. What are these? Okay. Unity 3D, Unreal, Blender, Kudan, Amazon Lumberyard. Okay, so we'll see them one by one. So the most prominent company which is working, as I said, which is working in the case of augmented reality, is Apple. Uh, just a minute, please. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Uh, Fine. So now, so as I said, Apple. Okay. So as I said, Apple is one of the most prominent companies which is investing hugely in the field of AR and VR. So they have come up with a framework called as Apple AR Kit, which you can utilize for the development of augmented reality project. Okay, what you can do with Apple AR Kit mostly means they have provided very good features in specific. I have pointed out in which domain they are doing good. They are 2D image detection and tracking, 3D object recognition and placement, horizontal and vertical plane detection, facial tracking, stable and fast motion tracking, and scale estimation. And with this, you can think of they are doing good in most of the critical areas which are required, especially like horizontal and vertical plane detection, 3D object recognition, and placement. Placement is in augmented reality. It's mostly about placing the objects at a correct place. Okay, then facial tracking is there. Then stable and fast motion tracking, scale estimation, and rest of the things you can see a very good demo or very good content available on this the link that I have given here. So when I share the PPT, you should go to this link, and this link I have provided for all the tools that we will be discussing. So further details about this tool you can find here. It is the official website of Apple AR Kit. If you can go there and you can check it out, you will find lots of good content available for the implementation of AR projects. Then we have Vuforia. So Vuforia is also one of the popular software development kit for AR projects. Okay. The good thing about this is they have API available for Unity. I hope you are aware about Unity. You had a hand-on session. Uh, I hope if it was on Unity, but Unity is like a SDK for game development, especially virtual reality games or augmented reality games. Okay, so and as most of the developers prefer to work in Unity, so the good thing about Vuforia is you have API available for the Unity as well. Okay, uh, which can be utilized for the app development for iOS as well as Android. Okay, so what are the tasks that you can do with Vuforia? Um, just I have listed out here identification and tracking of image target, English text, and 3D objects in real time, placement of virtual objects such as 3D model in the real world environment, 3D multi target configuration, virtual buttons, localized occlusion detection using virtual buttons. So, when I'm saying these things, it is not like you can't do these things with the Apple AR kit. Okay, but why specifically these things are mentioned? Because whenever these things are uh, most prominent in your project, then this particular SDK is most favorable for you. Okay, so these things are most easily done in this particular SDK, but it is not like that. This 3D multi-target configuration you cannot do in ARKit. It is not like that. It may or may not be true. Okay, so I'm nowhere I'm saying that you can do this thing in this particular framework only, but these things are some nice features of this particular SDK or framework. Then localized occlusion detection using virtual buttons. If you are not getting any word or any definition or any thing you are not getting, you can ask me, you can interrupt and you can ask anytime. There's no issue. Okay. So then another one is Wikitude. It is also widely used SDK for location-centric augmented reality experience. Location-centric means where the location is important, like of Pokemon Go, where to place the object. Okay, you might have heard about marker or markless augmented reality, marker-based or markless augmented reality. Uh, I hope you have heard. So that is like marker based means location based, where you keep your virtual object. Okay, so uh, the new Wikitude SDK allows developer to implement geolocation features. So that is what geolocation is allowed in other SDK also. But when this framework came, they have marketed them like this. Okay, so what are the things that you can do? Especially, it is beneficial for unique customer-centric mobile applications. So there are lots of ready-made things available for this particular category. Okay, 3D recognition and tracking, image recognition and tracking, cloud recognition, location-based AR, video overlay, smart glasses integration with external plugin. So I have listed out. You can go through this link and you can find it out. If you are searching or you want to work in a particular field of AR and VR, then what you can do, you can just go through this content, you can go through this lecture and you can find it out that my problem is in this category. And for this particular framework will suit me better, okay, to develop AR or VR project. Okay, of course, if you will choose any of the framework, that will work. It is not like you cannot create a customer-centric application in Apple ARKit. You can make, okay, but we have a specific framework available for this kind of application, where what you will find lots of ready-made things available with you, with which you can work on. So that's why it may help you a bit. If your application is clear to you what you want to develop and what category that application falls in, then you can find out suitable tool to develop that, and you will find all the details on their official page. You will see lots of code, content, and explanation available on their web page for all of the frameworks. Okay, then Kudan. Kudan is also one of the framework for AR application, specifically AR application. I am not saying here VR. VR AR difference I have explained you. So it is for AR application, and for AR application, the most important concept that comes into picture is marker based or markerless AR. Okay, so it is one of the handiest and fastest AR tool in which data size, speed, and sensitivity can be controlled by the project and requirement. Okay, so and then it can work for image recognition, then visual SLAM. So what is SLAM? You have read about augmented reality. What is SLAM? Anyone? What is SLAM in AR?
Location and mapping facility.
Yes, it is simultaneous localization and mapping. Okay, SLAM is simultaneous localization and mapping. Okay, so okay, fine. I hope you know that. Otherwise, you should read about it. What is SLAM? SLAM is a very common word used, and I hope it might have been told you in the introduction section only. Okay. So then sensor fusion, when you are trying to make a virtual reality or augmented reality experience, then you have to deal with lots of sensors. It is not like only camera sensor will work. There will be lots of sensors. which will be like some are wearable sensors, some are motion sensor in your room or maybe outside. Then there will be a fusion of so many sensors, and the problem that comes in is the kind of data input that you will get from different sensors. So in here you can choose the input data from various sensors, different algorithm. You can choose flexible integration, versatile customization is there. So I would suggest you to just visit their website one and see what are the features that they are providing, because you what will be the benefit of knowing all these tools? The major benefit will be uh, choosing a correct tool may reduce the time required to develop your AR application, because you might be developing maybe some virtual shopping website, okay, and where you want to give a 3D experience to the user, and you might be developing it in uh, uh, ARKit, Apple ARKit, okay, and but Apple ARKit of course will provide all the facilities, all kind of different things it will provide, but there might be a better tool available where almost 30% work is already available ready-made. Okay, so already 30% ready-made work is available for that particular kind of category. So it will save 30% of your time to develop the base of your project. So that is why it is must to know about the tools which are available and to go through them before starting of your project. Okay, if you will choose any one of them, of course you can work upon. But if uh, if a better car having a speed of 150 miles per hour is available, what is the use of going by uh, a bike having like 50 kilometer per hour maximum speed? You can go by that bike also, but if that car is available and both are available free of cost, then you may save some of your time by going with the car, and which is having maximum highest speed. So it is totally up to you. You are free to choose a bike. Bike will also serve your purpose from going from point A to point B, but with a car of higher power, you can reach there bit early. Okay, and time of course has the time of course is most expensive thing. Okay, that we
Sir, sorry to,
yes,
sir,
yeah,
sorry to interfere.
yeah,
Actually, there is, your voice is very low. All the
okay,
participants, and there is some light background disturbance, sir. Please,
okay,
if you can, okay.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Just I'll
yeah.
change. And now is it okay? Hello.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. You have to be little more loud. Maybe your voice is very low. That is one thing, and some background noise is coming.
This earphone was little bit away from my mouth, so that's why I think it was like this. I was speaking
Oh,
very loudly,
okay,
but it
sir.
just it moved away somehow.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Now,
was okay, sir. Okay.
is it okay now?
Is it? It's okay, sir. It's okay.
Now it is okay, because now the
Yeah.
mic is near to my mouthpiece. If still you are getting some background noise, so you just immediately tell me.
Yeah, sir. I was just messaging you. I didn't want to disturb the class. That's why.
No
Okay.
problem, no problem. Just
Okay.
whenever something like this happens, you just tell me. In one of the lecture, I was speaking like 10 minutes, and the connection was broken.
Okay.
After 10 minutes, they called like the connection is broken. So
Okay.
then I have to repeat again. So it's better to
Okay.
stop immediately. And if something like disconnection happens, you just call me. Okay.
Yeah. Sure,
In
sir. Sure,
yeah,
sir.
in online
Okay.
session, this kind of thing sometimes happens.
Yes, this technical glitches will be there. We
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to call.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I have spoken for 10 minutes without any audience that day. So,
Okay, sir. Okay.
yeah, okay.
And it's very interesting. You please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, okay, okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so this was about Kudan, and then MaxST. MaxST is again a comprehensive platform that ensures speedy and easy AR app development process. So for what it is used, it is mostly it comes with two different SDK, 2D SDK and 3D SDK for environment recognition. 2D SDK for image recognition and 3D SDK for environment recognition. So uh, you can understand that for what specific purpose you can use. It has two different SDK, one for image recognition, like 2D image recognition and 3D environment recognition. So in a 3D environment, you can recognize 2D objects. So this particular AR kit will be used for a specific problem like this. Okay, it's multiple feature environment enable developer to build it. Okay, and then what are the features? Instant tracking, identification of horizontal vertical planes. We have seen that earlier. Visual simultaneous location and mapping to create virtual map for tracking the environment. So for environment tracking, as I said, SLAM is a important thing, simultaneous localization mapping for any AR application. So you can do effective 3D SDK, 3D environment recognition. Okay, then object tracking, image tracking, multi-target tracking, QR barcode scanning, and Unity plugin integration. It is also available, but QR barcode scanning also available. And these are the point for which this particular SDK is known for. Okay, so based on all these points, see, the problem domain is very large. So at this moment, I cannot tell you if for this problem you should use this, for this problem you should this. All these things will depend on the kind of projects that you have chosen, and the detailed analysis of your project can only let us know that what kind of tools you should use for your project. Okay, so it is totally up to you. You can utilize any one of these tools, but the important thing is to know about all these tools before starting your AR application. You should not regret later that you have invested 2 months in some task which is already available in some other framework or some other tool. You should explore all these tools as much as possible before starting your AR project. First, decide your project, then analyze your project. What are the things that you want or you expect from the SDK? Lots of things are ready-made available, and you can utilize them as it is. Then another important AR framework which is available is AR SDK which is available is Google AR Core. Google is also investing heavily, like Apple, in the domain of AR. Okay, artificial this augmented reality. So what are the benefit? If it's a Google technology, of course, it is totally open source, and there will be very good integration with the Android application, and we know Android is already a widely used platform all over the world. Okay, so it is based on two elements: position tracking and object recognition. So you can, with these points, you can find it out for what kind of application it will be better. Some good things which are there: light estimation as per the real world condition, which is a very difficult task to do. And the estimation of light, which and what it will provide, estimation of light or projection of light or correct exposure of light will actually create a real-time scenario. Okay, accurate placement of virtual object, it is also a must thing. Like if you want to put a horse inside a room, where it should where the legs of that horse will be, it should not be like half cut, or it should not be placed on a wall. It should be on the floor, perfectly placed. So you should know all XYZ direction and on which plane you have to set. So you can do these things perfectly with Google AR Core. Then light tracking and create realistic objects. Then detection of size and location of vertical, horizontal, and angled surface. Motion tracking as per phone's position. So with the features, you can see among all the features that we have seen till now, the features from Google AR Core looks bit smarter than as compared to the features that we have seen in other frameworks till now. Of course, Apple AR Kit was also having some very good features, but if you might be thinking about your application by this time, then you might be seeing all the things that are must for the estimation for the actual augmented reality experience. You must be seeing here. So Google AR Core is a very good platform for the development of AR applications, AR and VR applications. Okay, so then Easy AR. So it is again a free AR development tool. Here the SDK enables business and developer to develop an extended immersive AR experience through mobile application. So it is specifically if you want to make a mobile application, uh, AR mobile application, then it is a very simple tool. As I said, the AR kit from the bigger companies will provide you all the tools and all the facilities which are available. But why these other companies like Wikitude or AR or Vuforia or Easy AR, here you can get the specific components which are required. As I said, like you want to make a shopping website which is using augmented reality or something like virtual reality. So for that, if you will go here, you can find few of the things already ready-made available which will help in the development. So they are focusing on a specific kind of application especially. So that is why you should always cross check with the kind of tools that you are using. Okay, so it is, although it is free, but there is a pro version which has some extra features. Okay, but your simple task will be done with the free version only, free version also. But for, of course, for some of the features, they expect some payment. Okay, so some other things are developers can manage workflow, enhance API, ensure compatibility, video playback, QR code scan, comprehensive Unity integration. So these are kind of things that were available in some of other tools also. So you can compare. Okay. In Pro, you can find 3D object tracking, planar image tracking, screen recording, content recording solutions, simultaneous detection, tracking of multiple type of objects. So you can find them out, like if it is a pro version, how much they are paying, is it worth to pay or not. But it is, I know it is a very simple framework to work on, Easy AR. Then we have AR Toolkit. It is a open source SDK. Okay, and various good features are available. It offers compiled SDK for iOS, Android, Windows, Mac OS, Linux platform. That means it is a multi-platform SDK. Okay, it is what it provides. It provides GPS and compass integration. Okay, of course, for marker-based or markerless AR experience. For GPS and compass will be for marker-based integration. Unity 3D and OpenScene graph support, 2D recognition, then SLAM and dual camera support, additional element mapping through OpenGL, integration with the smart glasses, and support multiple languages. So it is a very effective tool, I can personally tell, and it is open source as well. That is good thing. Directly you can go to GitHub and you can find out its source code also. The source code is also available, and compiled SDK is also available for all different platforms. So it is one of the things where you should not worry about paying something to the company. For others, there is some kind of payment that you have to pay for some specific features. Okay. Then we have Onirix, where you can develop, host, and publish your AR mobile app without writing codes. So it is an interesting platform. There are some user interface or user interaction is available where you can just click and you can drag and drop kind of things you can do, and you can make your application like without writing a code. Okay, so you can go and you can check it out what kind of features they are providing, but very less coding is required in this Onirix. Okay, and of course when coding is not required, flexibility will also be less. Okay, so for what it is good, Unity 3D support, cloud integration, then it can be helpful in publishing on social and web platform, and friction-free scenes are also available. So for some small kind of user experience, if you want to create, Onrix is a very good platform for that, where you need to do very less programming. Then we have Picart AR SDK. So then Picart SDK allows developer to create unique and feature-rich AR app. So what are the things that it provides? Image recognition, geo-augmented marker, cloud recognition with API, AR logo. So this is again kind of repetition, but geo augmented marker is available here. So you can go to this and check it out. What are the things or what kind of projects you can do with this kind of combination of that features that are available here. Then we have deep AR. Deep AR is mostly used for facial detection feature, accurate and quick facial detection, then ability to detect over 68 facial feature point at nearly 60 frame per second, and this is something really good that is provided here. Means 68 facial feature points are a good number, and that too at the rate of 60 frame per second. Our typical video that we used to record through our phone is like 30 frame per second, and then detection of multiple faces in real time emotion detection, multiple face detection, real time face tracking. So with all these features, what you can say, you can say for the person oriented augmented reality project, you can use this particular tool, because if you are seeing the features, they are mostly focused on facial detection, multiple face detection at a higher rate, like 60 frame per second, which is almost double of the uh, frame that we used to record. Okay, then real-time motion detection, and then multiple face detection, real-time face tracking. So mostly related to face. Okay, emotion tracking is also there, emotion detection is also there. So see, for some, if you work in some other AR kit and your task is to detect motion or to develop emotion on the human face or a virtual human face, then you might be using some already done research work and you might be implementing that code in your project. But if you will come to this framework, you will find it as a ready-made available thing and you can utilize it. So that is why it is must to go through all these tools and work accordingly, and to decide what kind of tools you are going to use. Then mixed reality toolkit, HoloLens. So it is which means HoloLens is basically a product from Microsoft. So it is some of its supported devices include Microsoft HoloLens, immersive headset, Steam VR, OpenXR platform. So it is basically specifically for Microsoft HoloLens or other Windows-based platform. Means if you want to work specifically for Windows platform, then this is the toolkit for you. If your task is to work for the Windows platform only. So what are the features? Uh, Articulated hand and gesture, eye tracking, voice commanding, controller visualization, teleportation, and user interface control and diagnostic tool. So fortunately, Microsoft is also opening up so many things, and some of the portion of this toolkit is available freely on GitHub. You can go through this, and it is one of the effective tools for mixed reality. So you can go to the GitHub link of Microsoft and you can check it out. What are the features they are providing? Then Xziming, I think some Chinese name is there. So mostly it is for image processing and face recognition augmented reality based project. So clearly they have also mentioned it is for image processing and face recognition based augmented reality project. So it is on you that you want to work on this kind of project, then this is a platform available to you. So what it provide? It provide real-time face recognition, image tracking, deformable face tracking feature respectively to help in the creation of AR-based application. So deformable face tracking means for a deformed face, it can track the faces. Okay. So if your application falls in that category, go with this. Otherwise, you can go for some other according to that. So marker recognition and tracking, face recognition videos, face tracking and face replacement. Then we have Droid AR. Droid AR is an open source framework to create AR application only for Android. So now there is a limitation that if you want to work only on Android platform, then we have Droid AR. What you can build You can build a location-based AR project as well as marker-based augmented reality with the help of Droid AR. Okay, so what are the features? Footstep recognition. Okay, indoor AR, location-based gaming, crowdsourcing framework, step detection for location accuracy, combination of location and vision-based AR. So it is a framework for this kind of application. I hope you can filter according to your particular requirement with these kind of features. Okay, if you want a footstep recognition, or your project is on indoor augmented reality, or it is a location-based gaming, or you want step detection for means your location for location accuracy, and if it is a combination of location or vision-based AR, then you can go with Droid AR. But on the top of all of this, if you want your application for Android, then you must go for this. It is not cross-platform. Then we have AR.js. Okay, with .js you can understand it is based on JavaScript. So some people who are very good in JavaScript, they must be thinking to work something in augmented reality based on the JavaScript only. So that's why they created a special framework for JavaScript. So in JavaScript also you can work with augmented reality. Uh, it's a efficient augmented reality solution to build an application on the browser. So it runs in a web browser. There is no need to install application. So you can think of like this directly in your browser. It will work. It runs on all mobile platform. So for what it will be used? It will be used for augmented reality content on the web, customizable AR object, ease of access and faster development. Of course, is a feature that everyone will claim. But the most important point here is if you want augmented reality content on the web, you want to include something in your website, some AR kind of thing you want to include in your web application. So this is the tool for you, and you can utilize it for making a good customer experience or good user experience by including this AR.js in your project. Okay, it is totally based on JavaScript. So those who are good in JavaScript, they can utilize this tool. Then HP also provided augmented reality tool, which is known as HP Reveal Studio. It is basically a cloud-based augmented reality platform, which is available for Android as well as iOS. So what are the features? Intuitive and easy to use interface. Interface is very good for this. I have seen. You should also go through this, though they have provided a very good interface. Personalized augmented reality option, ability to embed with new as well as existing application. Application for sales and marketing purpose, for which insight and growth can be tracked. So you can see the specific category they have kept here. For this kind of category, HP Reveal Studio will be a great thing for your project. Okay, but it is not like that you cannot do other things. You can do, but these are the feature for this should be used. Okay, so then Blip Builder. This is also one of the AR tool which is used for creating augmented reality campaigns. Okay, like advertisements. So for this Blip Builder is used. For what it is used, it has access to library of asset, template, and widgets. Lots of things are available with which template and widgets are available, which you can directly utilize for creating your advertisement, your content. Then drag and drop interface availability is there. One-click publishing to iOS and Android apps. Tracking and analysis of result on data dashboard. Live update to enhance AR experience. Creation of template for faster production. So if you want to create advertisement campaigns, so Blip Builder is a very nice tool for that. Okay, so then Augmara CS is basically a content management system. And it's assist in building a augmented reality based content that provide an interactive and dynamic user experience. So where it can be used, of course, if it is a content management system, it will be used in retail, So integrating AR content to the printed information such as catalog by adding videos, 3D model, web links, image galleries, registration form, and much more. So advertisements, again, enriching printed content with mini games, videos, 3D model. So Augmara CMS can be used for the application related to retail. So it is basically a content management system, okay, where you can print multimedia content, you can make multimedia content, you can create 3D models, you can create web links. So this kind of things you can do with Augmara CMS. So if your application is related to retail, you can go with this. Okay. So other things are direct marketing, shopping experience, construction. So uh, all these things you can do with Augmara CMS. You can go to its website and see some more features which are available in this. So then Amazon Sumerian. Uh, Amazon, of course, is this Sumerian is a product from Amazon, so you can expect lots of things. Just like Google ARKit, Apple ARKit, this Amazon Sumerian is also a very effective tool for AR VR build application building. You can easily build highly immersive and interactive scene without any additional skills here. So for what it is used, creation of 3D object, development of object, virtual environment, development of lifelike characters, support of multi-platform, and what is the very nice feature that I personally like of this is the development of lifelike characters. So this is something very good available in this Amazon. You can create lifelike characters. So if your task is, and it is, there is no need to talk much about the features available in this Amazon Sumerian because it is already preloaded with all the features like Google ARKit and Apple ARKit. If you are talking about Google ARKit, Apple ARKit, and Amazon Sumerian, you can work in any of these platforms. Uh, with Amazon, what you will get, you have the means you can work with the Amazon Web Service, AWS server you can utilize for the hosting of your application. That is something good comes with Amazon. With Google also you can use their cloud service. With Microsoft you can use Azure, but the integration is quite seamless in case of AWS. It depends on choice. This is what I see, I think, but it depends on your choice as well. If you are more okay with Azure, you are more okay with Google Cloud Service. It's totally on you. But uh, Amazon, the all the things can be done in all SDK which are available from the major companies. They used to include most of the method, but the other SDKs that we have discussed, they are specific for some, specifically good for some specific application. Okay, so then we have Augmented Pro. In this you will be you can create industrial procedure for learning and support on operational ground. So basically you can create solution, you can create industrial procedures, like you can make, if your task is to make a to teach someone some industrial procedure, like what you have to do, step 1, step 2, step 3, like this. So that you can do with this Augmented Pro. So we have Augmented Pro Creator, Augmented Pro Player. Okay, so just go through this link and you can see some very good demonstration given on their website. Then Augment. Augment is a software as a service based augmented reality platform, in which software as a service, I think all of you must be knowing. Then it is mostly used for e-commerce sales and engagement, drive field sales, 3D product for e-commerce. For this kind of thing, this Augment is used. It is basically used to deliver interactive and unique solutions. Then we have Unity 3D. Okay, and Unity 3D is a framework as well as a very good IDE, which is mostly used for the development of AR and VR experience, but it is mainly it was initially designed for AR. Now VR, AR is also included, even mixed reality is also included. So basically, Unity is used for game development. Okay. So what it used to do, it used to create high visual fidelity, 3D real-time interactive customer experience. Then it produce real-time 3D images and videos, design and re-engineer vehicles in VR, provide a real-time customer experience before the vehicle exists, develop interactive 3D environment for architecture, develop virtual showroom, immersive 3D space and data visualization, and what are the supported platform? Major head-mounted displays, Oculus Rift, Steam, all are supported by this. So it is mobile platform. This is a very widely used IDE and SDK for the development of AR and VR games, Unity 3D. I think you must have a demo on that also, might be. Then we have Unreal. Unreal is also like Unity. It is also used for uh, game development mostly. Uh, then we have advanced cinematic post-processing, physically based rendering, low friction startup, rapid iterations, frequent update of software and hardware. Supported platform, of course, include all this. And Unreal is also, they are very huge in size, SDK and platform. If you will install any one of them and if you will install full version, it will cost around like 30 GB of your disk space. Uh, so you can install and you can check them out if you might have had a hand-on experience on this earlier. So Unity and Unreal are two mostly used platform for the game development using AR and VR. I hope you are listening and not sleeping. At least,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are
is it going fine?
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me take some questions. If any questions there till now, then okay. This was about noise. Okay, there is a question: do we need to work upon all the tools, or any one specific tools which can take care of every aspect of all other tools? So I think I have explained this already. We need to find out tools for a specific application. The application that we are. So the question is basically, do we need to work upon all the tools, or any one specific tool which can take care of every aspect of all other tools? So what I will say is, you first uh, check what applications you are developing, what application you have thought of, and for that you can develop that application using any of the AR kit available. But the thing is, you should find out with which tool it can be developed in the best way possible or the most efficient way. Okay, for that we have specific tools available for a specific kind of application, and for that you can go through all these tools. You can go to their website and see what features they do provide, and accordingly you can check it out. You can develop your application in that particular uh, tool or SDK. Okay, so okay, deepfake app. So deepfake is a concept basically. It was a paper published in 2017, and I think Deepfake 2.0 is recently published. They used to generate. So it is a way to generate virtual reality. Okay. So what we are trying to do here, we are trying to focus on the already available tools. Of course, they have also utilized some concept to generate the virtual world. Okay. And for generation, we have some machine learning AI based algorithm available already, like generative adversarial network and uh, other things uh, which are used to generate. Okay, so they have also generated, but our focus at this moment is on the things which are available. Okay, the next question is, what is teleportation used for? So teleportation basically means to transfer the real world from the to transfer the real world experience to the virtual world.
WhatsApp group.
Uh,
Share, sir. Swati Soumya shared in our department group also just now. Mm.
okay.
Yeah, I tested.
Okay.
It's okay, sir. I didn't expect that.
Madam, kindly unmute your
You
microphone.
share it in the WhatsApp group, sir. Our Atal. Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, so what is teleportation used for? Teleportation is basically not the teleportation that we think of, like transfer of a person from one place to other place, as we see in movies. It is basically to transfer the real scene into a virtual world. Okay, like I want to create a virtual interface of my room. Okay, so that is what we used for
What can you?
this teleportation word. Okay,
Oh, oh.
okay,
Sir,
yeah,
sir, I would like to add something to this teleportation word.
yeah, yeah.
There is a serial called as Star Trek, which was played somewhere in 1980s or 90s, somewhere early 90s.
Yes,
So
yes,
they have shown this concept of teleporting a person from one point to another, and
yes,
they were having that concept. If anybody want to see, it is available. This series is available on Netflix. In that,
yes.
very nicely, they have shown the concept of teleporting.
Yes, 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 yes. That's what I'm saying. Uh, they are actually physically transporting a person. Okay,
Yes,
but here what we are doing, we are transferring a scene. You can imagine a situation like right now I'm teaching you. Okay,
yes,
right now we are discussing on a topic. But you just imagine a situation if this discussion is in personal. You might see me sitting in front of you through some interface, like even in your laptop, and you can see me as a 3D object. Okay,
okay,
so it is because there is a scene. I'm sitting in my office, I'm sitting in my room, and I have some expression when I'm teaching. I have some things to discuss, and expressions also teach a lot. That is a problem in online teaching. When you are sitting in front of a person, that time it's a different experience. So you can get a similar kind of experience, and that is what we call as a teleportation, when I'll be virtually transferred to your place. Virtually
sir. It is
transferred.
something like what they have shown in a robot movie.
Yeah.
A professor is coming in front of everybody and explaining something, but that's a
Yes.
virtual image actually.
Yes. 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 That is what a teleportation is. It is
Okay,
a
fine.
it is a real scene, and we are teleporting it to the virtual world. Okay.
Okay, okay,
And
okay,
in virtual world, you can see that real scene. Okay.
okay, okay.
So that is what we are mean by teleportation. Uh,
Thank you,
so
sir.
so
Very
kind
good.
of things that we have seen in the movies, they
Yes,
are going to be real in some time after, in some years from now.
exactly.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
the things which we have seen, which I have saw in the Star Trek movie, that
yeah,
serial, they
yeah,
have shown cloning, they have shown teleporting, and they have shown a communicator that was a mobile phone. So mobile
yeah.
phone and cloning has already been done
Yes, 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 yes.
in
Then
the 40s years span.
yeah, yeah. The world is going to change within next 20 years, and already it has changed a lot in last 20 years. Also, we cannot imagine about the. We were
Yes,
not imagining about mobile phone video call just like 25 years from now. It was like a magic.
and yes,
So,
yes, yes.
so these virtual classes will also be like that. I'll be sitting as a personal tutor in front of all, or you may be sitting in front of your student as a personal tutor in front of them, and they will feel like an actual person is sitting in front of them. So it is,
Sir,
Okay,
it is
okay.
good
yeah,
morning, sir.
Thank
Already
you, sir. Thank
Second
you.
Life is the platform already brings this kind of
yes,
virtual reality
yes,
experience,
yes,
sir. Second Life.
yes, 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 yes. Already
Thank you.
there are tools available, but
Yeah, Second Life is also an example.
yeah, but experience is still not that much real. But yes, they for meetings and for virtual meetings now they're calling it as AR meeting, augmented reality meeting. Even if you will see the convocation of IIT Bombay and IIT Madras, if you will see, they are like they have conducted their convocation in AR mode, in the virtual reality mode. Students were not available there, but they played a live video when a student with actual face went to the like director or someone who's giving the degree, and they have just shake hand and they just collected the degree because of the corona. Students were not able to attend the physical convocation, so they conducted a virtual reality convocation. And even IIT Madras is going to organize now. You must see that. So it's a mixed reality based convocation they are conducting. IIT Bombay has already conducted, and IIT Madras is conducting.
Sir,
So
any
no
video
student,
link is there for the same?
I think it's available on YouTube. You can see IIT Bombay convocation
Okay.
this year, 2020, and
Okay.
IIT Madras is going to happen. It will also be available on. It will be on YouTube live. You can check it
Okay.
out. Yeah, sure. So you
It's
can see.
available in all the social
That
media.
will be something different experience.
Yeah, sure. That's what I'm saying. There is a lot of scope to work upon, and very, very small problems are there which are yet to resolve. And these small problems are kind of bottleneck for a effective solution. I can tell you, like for depth estimation, people are working in the area of depth estimation from like 2-3 years. The people every year there are 20-30 good papers are coming. Research publication are coming in depth estimation. Human action recognition is another kind of area in which last 5 years people are working very desperately and achieve a very good accuracy, but still there are problem like multi-view human action recognition or in depth estimation. Even Apple also, what they did, they included the lidar camera. The whole research was going on to find out depth without a lidar sensor, just to reduce the cost. Like with normal RGB camera, can you find out depth? Because we don't have any laser based system in our eyes, we have a stereoscopic vision. The difference in view of our two eyes create a perception of depth for us, because we see with one eye and with other eye. So that perception in mobile phone we tried to create with two different cameras, and we used to create a disparity map. And based on that disparity, we used to estimate depth with two cameras. But still, the estimation of depth was not that much accurate, and that's how we used to get a portrait image in a camera having two in a mobile phone having two camera. Okay, but still the quality of that portrait image is not that much good. The edges are not that sharp. So that means we are not able to segregate foreground and background. So these are the research topics which are going on and which are a bottleneck for the this AR and VR at this moment. Problems are small, but solution is not there. We cannot create a vision equivalent to human vision. In some sense, we have created a vision which is better. Like with the mobile phone camera, you can view IR. Okay, but infrared rays you can see, the light of remote you can see through mobile camera, which you cannot see with your eyes. But in some sense, still human vision is better. And the most important thing is the estimation of depth. You know, when you are walking through stairs, you know which step is at what level. But if you will see the image of stairs, all steps are at same level. You cannot say which one is far, which one is right. So in a 2D image, you cannot identify. So that these are some of the questions which are yet to be solved and resolved. So we have an option to work upon these, and we can contribute to a good VR AR experience. And maybe in future, like Apple has included lidar because they have the capacity to increase the cost of the phone. But if the same sensor other mobile phone companies will include, they have to sell their phone in 10,000 rupees. Because if it will be 20,000, no one will purchase. They will invest in a more reliable company if they want to invest, if they want to pay more. So that's why how to create that kind of experience in a low-end phone or with low-end sensors. So without lidar, whatever we can do, we must do. But yes, it is a challenging thing. That's why Apple adopted to choose another sensor rather than going with these sensors. So yes, so this is something you can think of working upon. There are lots of open questions, and thankfully now I think it was like something just going on, and you might be feeling sleepy. So this discussion was to wake you up. Now you are wake up, so let us continue with the lecture. So based on okay, then there is another tool, Blender. Blender is basically based on Python, and Python, as we know, is a very simple language, so it has its own benefit when it is in Python, because even a non-programmer can work in Python, so that is a good thing. If you will work with Unity, then you have to work in C++. Even Python also available, but you have to work in C sharp, okay, for writing the events and other things. So you should know C sharp. So C sharp is almost equivalent to like Java, and Python is far more easier as compared to the other programming languages like C, C++, or Java. So what you can do, you can create ultra realistic rendering with cycle render engine, VFX animation, story art, real-time viewport preview, HDR lightning support, VR rendering support. So these things you can do with Blender. So good thing is it is a open source. Okay, so you can, if it is open source, you can go through its code, you can understand how they have done the things, how what they are doing, which algorithm they have used for object rendering, for creating scenes, for animation, what they have used. You can go through and you can learn a lot. Okay, so then we have Amazon Lumbriard. It's a cross-platform virtual reality game creation tool. It is specifically for game creation. Uh, it is among few tools that support all the VR devices. So it supports all, and it has, of course, Amazon Web Cloud, AWS Cloud also integrated with that. So it supports all, and it is mainly used for game development. Then we have CryEngine. So CryEngine is considered as one of the best virtual reality SDK for VR. Then it has built-in 3D rendering optimization tool. So what it does, it provides powerful 3D modeling. Then it has 3D rendering optimization tool, advanced volumetric cloud system, FMOD Studio, and DirectX support. So basically, if you are focusing mostly on 3D modeling, animation, scripting, so then this is the tool for you. Then App Game Kit is there. So it is basically to create a VR app. Okay, it is very easy and straightforward. Some specific commands are there you can utilize. So basic scripting system is there. Support creation of standing or seated VR experience. So 3D scene rendering to head-mounted display. So these are some of the things. I'll be little quick now because already 11:15 is there. So you can go through the details. Just I will quickly try to cover all the tools which are there. Then we have Oculus Medium 2.0. Okay, uh, this is mostly used. Oculus is actually a device. Okay, uh, so we will see that those devices also. But Oculus is a device, and this tool is specifically used to develop applications for that particular hardware. So the grid snapping, increased layer limit, multiple light, 300 prefabricated stems, and like this. Then we have Google SketchUp. Google SketchUp is a basic level application for beginners. So you can also see this Google SketchUp because it is very easy and straightforward. If you will see, it is like even a non-programmer can start with Google SketchUp. So just go to its website and see what they provide. We have Tilt Brush. Tilt Brush is another efficient tool from of Google. It is also from Google, and it is also very basic. What it used to help, it used to draw animated character or build houses with a very minimal input from your end. You can create. So this tilt brush is very effective if you want to create animation, you want to create some character. So this is very useful. Google SketchUp and tilt brush are must tools to try. Then Visor.io. It's a visual environment, web-based 3D for web-based 3D editing. So what it provide, it used to create web VR and web GL experience. So when you want to work with the web application or you want to develop a web application, then this is a tool for you. Okay. Then Janus VR, traditional in nature is used to view a 3D version of the website. If you want to make a 3D website, so then this Janus VR is a tool. It works on HTML-like syntax. So if you are okay with the website development, then you can work on this VR. Then React 360. React 360, I think you must be aware already. It's basically used for creation of complex UI. So it's a very good framework for development of website, but it include your VR experience also. Okay, React by default is a very React is basically used for uh, web applications which are compatible with mobile phone, or is it can change. Okay, React is basically a library built over JavaScript. So React 360 is basically for 3D rendering. Okay. And A framework is also a web framework which is used to build immersive virtual experience. So it is a open source architecture, so you can go through this. Now these were the software development kit or framework or the software or technology available to develop the VR or AR experience. Okay. Now, what are the hardwares required for running, testing, implementing the AR VR project? So the two main factors in virtual reality performance are CPU and GPU. Okay. I hope you understand that CPU and GPU for virtual reality. The processor is okay. This is all I know. Think need not to explain. I can skip this. So now these are the products. Okay. First product is HTC Hive. This is the okay. So some hardware products I will tell, and their configuration is there, and I think price is also there. Some tentative price is mentioned. Okay, so I think you might have seen this kind of devices for what they are used. How do we use this? We just put in some of the devices the display is available in some of the devices. You just put in your phone and you can utilize that. You can utilize your phone as a display for the VR or AR experience. Okay, so this is a HTC. This is a device by HTC, and the cost is about $599. It can do room scale tracking, intuitive interface, 6D of controllers. So the resolution is 2160 into 1200, and the 110 degree field of view, which is quite good. The field of view is must if you want AR experience. Uh, in case of AR and VR, because if bigger field of view is there, you can cover more area. Then we have Oculus Rift. So it was developed by Palmer Luckey, which is Oculus is a company which provides very good headset, and presently it is under Facebook. Okay, so presently the Oculus it is purchased by Facebook. Then the resolution is again 210 into 1200, but refresh rate is quite good, 90 hertz refresh rate, and tracking is 360 degree. Okay, what it means? Which means that with every move or turn, the picture will adjust to the position of the head. So you will get a real-time experience as it happens with us. So this is Oculus Rift, and this is the cost 399. Different cost is there. You can check the actual cost at this moment. This may be changed. Okay. Then we have Sony PlayStation VR. So the resolution is 916 to 1080, but refresh rate is good. So resolution is somewhat less, but the display is OLED. So OLED displays, as you know, are quite good, and they have a crispier output. So resolution is somewhat less, but uh, refresh rate is good, and the field of view is 100 degree, which is not less than the refresh rate. So this is the cost. It is used for immersive VR experience, support non-VR app and game, motion control, single camera tracking system, because we expect double camera. Require PlayStation camera less powerful than Rift or Vive. Then Samsung Gear VR. It is also very good. It weighs 345 grams and dimension is this. The new controller is equipped with touchpad, back key and home key, volume key trigger. So it is compatible with all Samsung phones. This is the this is the image for that. It is wireless, comfortable design, but the resolution is very low, not very low, but less than the competitors, and limited lens adjustment, compatible with only Samsung phones. Or nausea, of course, is a common thing that we used to get in when we are using any VR device. Then the cheapest device is Google Cardboard. Okay, it is because of this only in 2014 these things become very common. Like see, this is a device. So is it device at all? No. And see the price. It's $5. So in $5 you are getting a VR experience. It was quite amazing, and it was a successful idea. Lots of people purchased later on by increasing cost a bit. Very cheap devices came, but it was started with this Google Cardboard. And what you want basically with this, you can find it out what you basically want for a VR experience. You just need two lenses which are to be fixed in front of your eyes, very close to your eyes, and phone can serve the purpose of display. So it was a very smart uh, product from the Google. Okay, so now we have cardboard, plastic, nylon, ABS. So we have various VR headsets available made of plastic or nylon with very cheaper cost. But they don't have display. They only have lenses, and the display is from the mobile phone. Google Daydream View is somewhat better than this. This one is somewhat better, as it is a little bit costly also. $99. Then Merge VR AR goggles. It is a kind of goggles like this. So here also you will put your phone. They do not come with inbuilt display. So this suitable for both AR and VR. So this is good thing. Stiff form can be uncomfortable. Okay, this is some lenses can inadvertently slide out of position. So these are some cons. So it is $49 only. But good thing is in $49 you are getting both AR and VR experience. With Google Cardboard you are only getting the VR experience. Oculus Quest, it is a very good and effective hardware, but it is around 90,000 rupees in Indian rupees. So, but it is one of the best at this moment, I can say, Oculus Quest. So fine. Now what to do? How to purchase? Which one we have to use? How to test? So sorry, how we test VR headset? Well, there are a number of factors that we should consider while purchasing the VR headset. So what should be the first step that we should think of? Or like, okay, I'll tell. If see, some VR devices are like PC based and some have their own. Some you require a mobile VR headset. Okay, so for PC and console powered devices, what we should check how much space they will use in the system. Okay, what is their performance? For mobile-based VR headset, we should focus on software installation time and how securely the phone fits into its enclosure. Like you should always check. Sometime you will put phone inside the enclosure of the headset, and sometime it may fall also. Okay, so you should always cross-check this thing. This is one of the quality aspect that you should check. Then you should check the comfortability, because in case of like other things, like we are purchasing a mobile phone or some other thing, you won't think that much about uncomfortability. But head mounted display are something which you cannot wear even for 5 minutes if you are uncomfortable with that. So always cross check 10 times. Even the product may be good, but is it for all wearing devices, not only for headset, even for any device which you should wear should always be comfortable. So you should invest at least 30 minutes of by wearing the headset, and you should cross check, is it suitable for you or not. Okay. So another thing is we should test the interface, how responsive or intuitive it is. The menu should be well placed. It should be easily accessible. It should work effectively with voice command and gesture control. It should be ergonomic, so that you should not feel tired. So then again, hardware without great software is just an expensive paperweight. So whatever headset you purchase, it should have a good library, and it should have lots of game apps and movies and other experience should be available. You should not end up by purchasing or investing a huge amount and then you will regret there are no games available, there are no movies available, there are no apps available, and it cannot work with this platform, that platform. So all these things you should always cross check whenever you are purchasing. So some parameters I have told to check, but what I personally consider is the responsiveness, intuitiveness, and the comfortability. These are the 3 points which I always consider before purchasing any head-mounted display, or everyone should consider. I think so. Okay, so I think this is all from my end about the hardware and software which are available in case of AR and VR. I was a little bit quick in the end, but uh, thankfully we finished on time. Thank you. Any question that you have, you can ask. Yes, I will share the PPT.
Yes, sir. Please share the PPT to us. We'll share with the participants.
Yeah, today only I'll share this.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
And I will send you and you can forward.
Okay, okay, sir. Verajyoti madam, are you there? From participants, is there any more questions?
One question is there. Ergonomically designed. Ergonomically designed means it should be according to your comfortability, your body shape. Okay, it should be correct. Your posture should not. One very important drawback I'll tell you with all these devices is it can be it can create nausea, because when you are away from the real world, when you will put this head mounted display, you are totally cut off from the real world and you are in a virtual world. Sometimes people feel nausea in that situation, and your eyes will strain a lot, and if you will put something heavy on your head, your neck will also pain after some time. So ergonomically means you should it should be according, it should be light, it should be according to your body shape, it should not create a burden on you. Okay. Why Unity is preferred? Unity is preferred because it has lots and lots of inbuilt scenes, tools, and other and very nice API interfaces available with this SDK, and lots of already available libraries are there for Unity, which you can utilize. So that's why Unity is preferred. And another question is Oculus Go and Quest together. You can buy anyone, not together. It depends on your requirement. What kind of research you want to do, what kind of use you want to do. Okay, I think any other question is there? Just go to software, monthly investment. any software that can help to match them. Yes, for first part, like monetary investment is required at some point of time in most of the tools, but some tools which I said as a open source, okay, you can just cross check, which are open source. They don't require any money. They are freely available. About this 1 GB RAM, I don't think so. With 1 GB RAM these days, operating system do not work. So with 1 GB RAM, uh, it is very difficult. But yes, you can work with that JavaScript framework that I told, because it works in browser. That you can try in 1 GB RAM. See, Oculus Quest 2 and Oculus Rift S. These are two different products. Okay, and you just there is lots of difference in terms of price, in terms of facilities. Just check. I think new Oculus has also come. They are just like versions of the product. Okay, you just uh, check. Okay, okay. So that's all. I think. Okay then. Thank you
Okay.
from.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your detailed session on software and hardware required for AR VR, sir. And the tools for AR VR and mixed reality also you have explained. It was a great session, and we'll have a session with you on Thursday again, sir. We welcome you, and thanks once again, sir.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Now all the participants are requested to break for half an hour, and we will have a session, next session at 12 o'clock. Please, all of you leave from the session and rejoin for the next session. Thank you. Sir, we have provided mail